I
Wha-
know I shouldn't always feel this way, but sometimes working creatively, having something like done is the best. Like already done. Like coming in and be like, "This is oh, I like this." And be like, "Oh yeah, it's done. I don't have to make a thing." Like that. I shouldn't enjoy that feeling, but like, boy, do I love that cheat sometimes.
Yeah, I know what you mean because
Also,
it's nice
Andrew,
to have like yeah.
start the time.
Oh, well, yeah. Give me the catchphrase.
Go
Give me the
ahead.
catchphrase. Three, two, one.
Start the timer.
All right.
There we go.
Okay, thank you. Uh, I the thing is like this is just me like totally like normally forgetting like what
No, the good news is
honestly.
that's one of the screens we both see, so I just check on it to
Yeah.
see if it's on.
Yeah. Um, so yes, I know what you mean. It's because sometimes like I'll have just ideas in the back of my mind, and it's like it's so nice when something actually fits, you
Mhm.
know, for it to work because it's like 100 to 1. I mean, like there's like 100 ideas like that I'll be messing around with on the guitar or compositionally or just or even just brainstorming, and it's like 100 to 1, like one idea, like someone like you will say, and I'd be like, oh yes, it totally fits,
Yeah, it's
and then the other 99 are just like totally lost and wasted.
I do think it's important to I don't want to say important. Everyone follow their own creative journey. But boy, is it helpful to carry your little notebook. And like
Mhm.
I don't a lot of people have switched over to phones and I don't like using a phone personally as my phone
Mhm.
falls. It's dejected. And I do phones for images and stuff. I guess that's not true. But like ideas, I don't like using my phone because like boy, I think we've talked about this multiple times, is like, boy, does your phone want you to be distracted.
Mhm.
Like, that is what your phone like, it wants you you ever, like, open your phone and just start going to your apps even though you don't mean to?
Yes, of
Like,
course.
you're just like, "How did I end up on Facebook for 15 minutes?" You're just like well, your brain just went, "Ooh,
Yeah.
shiny." And, like, pads of paper doesn't that won't happen to you. That will you will not get that distraction.
No,
No.
it's really amazing when everybody talks about like how the addiction and stuff like that, but it's still surprising. Like if I take my phone into the bathroom while I'm you know taking a
I
crap, and then it's like if I've got my phone, that crap is going to take 3 times as long. It's like I mean, it's still surprising. Like even though we know it's going to happen, it's still surprising.
and it's hard that, it's we're not just, like and we're using technology to talk, but we're not just
Yeah,
addicted to like the internet. It's addiction doesn't cover what this is. I don't think this is
yeah.
it's part of our bodies now, which is such a
Mhm.
weird. Like, have you ever like left your phone and then felt it vibrate?
Oh yeah, totally.
That's that's weird. Like
Yeah.
that sentence is, or like the fact that like if you leave your phone some, I when I leave my phone somewhere, uh I have to reassure myself over and over again that it's
Yeah.
fine. That's I mean, that's wild, and, like,
Yeah.
it's I almost you almost wanna put, like it's easy to just say it's bad, and it's not even that I disagree that it's bad or not bad, that's not what I'm saying.
Mm.
What I am saying is, it's interesting to put it as to look at it as a value neutral statement, which is
Mhm.
something I've been really interested in general anyways, just statements that are value neutral, and then
Mhm.
exploring that is like
Mhm.
instead of being like, "Oh, this is bad," just being like, "What is this?" is a more and then you go, "And that is bad," instead of just being like, "X is." I don't want to use anything because they're all hot button stuff, but
Yeah.
like instead of being like, let's say superstition. I don't actually even believe this, but like if I say you're a superstitious somebody, and that's what I say to
Mm.
you, and that's my insult. Well, what does superstition mean? What does it do? What is like?
Mhm.
I got into a weird argument online where like someone was like, "We are all falling in a some respect," but they were like, "The world is getting stupider," and I was like, "Cool. So in your definition, I need you to diagnostically explain what you mean by the word stupid." And then someone
Mhm.
else responded because it's the internet and the internet is stupid. I just laugh at the idea of diagnostically explaining stupid. I'm like, I understand that like it's a feeling word, but feeling
Mm,
words are like weirdly useless. They're not useless. That's not true. That's
yeah.
not what I'm trying to say. But like, if you can't, sometimes stuff is of the air. It is of the vapor.
Mm.
Sometimes it is of the wave. Um, are you of the vapor or are you of the wave? That's a phrase I'm gonna force into this. Um,
I'm gonna
but
write that down before I forget.
yeah. Do you
Keep
have your
talking.
notes with you? Uh,
Yeah.
I also this is actively recording. Um, but like
That's right.
it was, and then there, and I was like, well, what do you think? And they gave I didn't want to continue the conversation because clearly it was someone who like wanted wanted to be the smart one in the conversation, and like
Mm.
you're not bringing anything if you're like the smart one in the conversation. Uh, but like yeah, I was like yeah, like diagnostically trying to explain stuff is way important to me, and it's something that I wow, went way off topic way quick. I apologize, but I also just like having stuff done. But sometimes it feels like it's in bad faith. What do you feel like?
That was a pivot right there.
You know?
Well, no, I like the direction that you're going though. Because uh, it's I mean, this is certainly not the first time this has been said, but it's very easy to uh, to say things online that you would not say in person, I think. And it's I mean, it goes back to that idea of like the meme argument or the meme culture. It's very easy to communicate a very opaque idea with a meme. That has no depth, but also can really influence the way you think. And it's um and I think like what I was thinking about earlier when you were saying when we were talking about the phone addiction and stuff like that is like I I don't inherently have a problem with like technology being a part of us, but it's but I do want to try to manage my own emotions, when using the technology, I guess. So,
It's interesting when you talk about how we act on the internet. One of the things I've been thinking about a lot recently is the Barney bashings of the '90s.
mm.
Um,
uh-huh.
I'm because there was a period of time where if you dressed like Barney, the big purple dinosaur, and went to a kid's birthday party and sang the song, and there was a chance you were going to get beat up with bats. Like that was a thing that happened for a while.
Uh-huh.
And I'm doing mascot work right now. Mascot work is hard. It's hard work. It's hot, and you get punched a lot, which is interesting.
Mm.
Um, because like there's obviously a human being in those Barney suits. There's a human being in this mascot suit. It's fascinating to watch. I am in front of you, but my whole body is covered, and I've shifted it in some ways. And there are people that will legitimately forget there is a person in that
Mm.
suit. And I think like if our and I'm not judging them. I'm really not. But if our it's if our brains can't figure out that if this dude in a costume is still a person, like what
Uh-huh.
does that say? How are we supposed to interact on the internet?
Mhm.
Like it's something
Yeah.
I talk about with food a lot too. We'll get over there. You know when you hold a Tide Pod in your hand and your brain wants to eat it
Yeah.
because it smells good, it's dense, all that stuff. Well, there's
Mm.
more that says more than just like brain wants to eat. That also says like how are we supposed to go through the world and like people feel bad about what they eat and all this stuff when your brain is just like eat and like you even if you know something is poison, your brain is like
Yeah.
eat it, and like we have all these problems with food in America. I know, but like, of course we do. Your brain wants to eat. You know what I mean? Your brain. If your
Right.
brain wants to eat this, if we have net, if you do you know how mind blowing Doritos are? Nothing in nature tastes like Doritos.
Yeah.
How are we supposed to process emotionally Doritos? And like they're Doritos are the best food in the world. I love Doritos. But like there's a point there that like we don't know how to deal. There is part of our body and brain that doesn't know how to deal with the Doritos, and the Doritos is the internet, and it is the dude. The internet is Doritos and a dude in a mascot suit that you can beat up. Like you can dress someone like a straw man real easy, and straw
Yeah,
men don't feel anything. But is there anyone in that costume? Is a big question.
right. Well, and those are both really good analogies, I think. And it also, I think, points to the fact that really, just because we're living in a time where the internet brings this stuff out, it doesn't mean, or no, let me rephrase that. Just because we're living in a time where we see this kind of behavior on the internet, it doesn't mean that the internet created it.
Hmm.
Um, I think it's, that idea of like technology creates a lot of good things, um, but inherently, like it's going to, the more it becomes entrenched in like our human nature, then it's going to have both sides. Like we're going to have the good parts of human nature, and then also the negative parts of human nature, and it's I think probably both are maybe amplified. Just in ways not necessarily even more amplified, but just amplified in ways that we haven't experienced before. Because like the Barney one is a really good example as well. I mean, there's other. I mean, you could even, you know, there is a even if you take it out of like the mascot era. I mean, do you remember when Phil Collins like was the butt of basically every music joke?
Oh, I missed that. I missed that one. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I
yeah. So
What about trombones? And let me tell you, they're right. Those trombone players,
yeah,
they
well,
got
yeah, like there's always been like band jokes and stuff like that, but like yeah, like in the music world, like in the pop music world, and pop and rock music world, like I think it was like maybe in the mid or late '90s, where all of a sudden Phil Collins was just like this, like I don't know. I can't even explain it. Like, it was just always Phil Collins was like the butt of every joke. Like, if you turned on the radio, like, you could hear the DJs, making fun of Phil Collins. You, if you were, and I think I remember, I think I remember reading like that. It was like the band Oasis that kind of started that,
mhm.
and then, and then it just sort of spread, like that. Um, but but even then, like Phil Collins is like this '80s icon,
Mhm.
and so what people were really making fun of was that icon of the '80s, it wasn't, but it's the same idea. Like there's a person behind that icon,
Yeah,
and um, so it's interesting to see like how it's reflected now in the technology mediums that we have,
yeah, and like I think that it's almost like a better example of like so there's like the right wing version of cancer culture, and it's not that
Mm,
I'm not looking at I'm looking at this apolitically, but like there is something to be said that we can easily forget that there are people behind stuff and just
mhm,
go like that. I was watching a thing, about the garden. It's a commune place that a person was convinced was a cult because it's run a little shadily, but it's probably not a cult. But
mm,
they got it's fascinating to watch because the person who like exposed them got famous for exposing them, and it did no favors for their lives. And they
yeah,
have to sort of keep playing the are they a cult game because they're just trying to say they're trying to bow down to the algorithm, and it did
right,
nothing for them. And this commune, that's a commune, and it's a commune, they're libertarian new age hipsters. I don't know. They're coming at me.
right,
But like it did not. They both just became They became stuff for people to throw rocks at, and like
mhm.
man, if you throw rocks at people hard enough, you can kill them.
Yeah, exactly. Um and you see that, I mean, I hate to like bring up the example of crypto, but I mean you see that in crypto a lot. uh and it's, and honestly it's really painful because I I mean, I know there's crypto. I know there's a lot of controversy around around crypto, but I tend to see the potential for good in it. And again, it's just going to be like everything we're talking about with the internet. Like there's potential for good, there's potential for bad, and it's going to be both. You know, there's definitely going to be both. You know, but I tend to see the optimistic version of it, and it's really painful to me when people are looking for clicks and looking for attention. You know, where they're just looking for what they call FUD in the crypto world, which is fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And we are out of time.
Good girl. You're such a good girl. You are the star of the channel. You're such the star of that channel. You
She
so
is, yeah, and she made an appearance today. That was really cool.
she has all the best lines in it. Like she's the one to really follow, and she has probably all the best ideas, which is like sitting
Yeah,
like
she does. We need to start listening to her more, you know,
yeah.
for for the production topics.
Yeah. So Pandora, what do you think about this? Now, like, that's a good point.